First, quick question. Do you ever move or kneel or stand up or walk on stairs and sound like a bowl of Rice Krispies? I know when I go up and down stairs, sometimes I can hear the snap, crackle, pop. I'm trying to avoid that, trying to avoid the stiffness, the pain, the inflammation that can hit us every day. And today I've got some ideas, some things we want to look at that can really help. Hello, and welcome again to another Herbal Mana Podcast, where we explore how to hurt less and live more. I'm Todd Bailey, CEO of Herbal Mana, and today I want to dive into another natural solution for managing pain and inflammation. This is hyaluronic acid for your joints. Now, pairing hyaluronic acid and DMSO, we do it for absorption. If hyaluronic acid is your hydration and lubrication, the DMSO is your delivery tool, and it can help get those supportive ingredients to penetrate more effectively through the skin barrier. So when we talk about pairing hyaluronic acid with DMSO, here's the point. It's not about making a lotion feel strong. It's about improving absorption. So the formula can do more than just sit on the skin. See, I want hyaluronic acid and the other goodness into the joint, into the tissue, so that I can help tamp down inflation, control the pain, settle the nerves in. All right, one note up front, I am not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. I'm not diagnosing any particular illness. However, everything I'm talking about, it's good general information. It's based in science. We're after more comfortable movement more often, so we have more good days. Now, as far as those good days, hyaluronic acid can be a key. So if you've tried stretches, supplements, creams, braces, wraps, all sorts of other things, that's great. But we need to dig a little deeper. We need to dig into the joint environment itself, because in the joint, we get changes that occur with time from injury and wear and tear. So we want to dig into that and figure out how we can help the joint. Now, the joints themselves, they aren't just bones. They're a system of cartilage, connective tissue, and synovial fluid, which is some of the fluid that helps lubricate and even absorb the pounding and the shock inside of the joint. The Cleveland Clinic explains that hyaluronic acid is a natural lubricant and a key component of synovial fluid. That's this fluid in our joints. And we can get gel shots as a hyaluronic acid injections. And it's often used by orthopedic surgeons when you're doing osteoarthritis care. And those injections can be great. They can help us get that cushion and that lubrication, kind of like the Tin Man needed. So if your body feels like you have less cushion than it used to, you're probably not imagining it. You're describing a real physiological change that comes with age, injury, experience, just wear and tear. And as far as those injections, I've had hyaluronic acid injections, and they help, but they're temporary. The hyaluronic acid is great. It'll help with lubricating the joint. It adds to the synovial fluid, but it's temporary. So what we need to do is find a way to continually add the hyaluronic acid. And we can do this at home. I do it a couple of ways. First, I take a supplement, an oral supplement for hyaluronic acid. And that helps somewhat. It's one way that I can get the hyaluronic acid into my system to help my joints, my skin, my collagen, and that I need to keep building up. So that's one way I can do it. The other is applying hyaluronic acid topically. All right, let's dig in a little bit more to hyaluronic acid. In a peer-reviewed paper in the journal Pain, this is from December, I think it was 2023, studied topical hyaluronin. That's just a different name for hyaluronic acid. They combined it with a transdermal delivery enhancer. And if you've paid attention, you'll probably recognize that is DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide. So they combined hyaluronic acid with DMSO. And what they wanted to find out is, does it help with pain? And in particular, inflammation that leads to pain and neuropathic pain or nerve pain. And what they found was outstanding. They found that what they could do for the test subjects is apply the hyaluronic acid topically, awesome, but then they could combine it with DMSO, more awesome, because it would actually penetrate into the tissue. As far as that study again that I was referencing, when hyaluronic acid was combined with enhancers like DMSO, the effect on pain sensitivity in these models was much stronger than with just the hyaluronic acid. No surprise there because we know DMSO is such a great carrier of other substances. It'll take things like hyaluronic acid, frankincense, MSM, and transport that right into the skin, through the epidermis, and into the joint or muscles that we're trying to affect. So it's wonderful. First, joint discomfort often feels like friction plus inflammation. And really, that is the case. You can get some friction because with age or injury, you're going to have less of the synovial fluid, less of the hyaluronic acids. You get some friction. And along with that, inflammation. You're just kind of scraping things, rubbing things the wrong way. And also, if you have hyaluronic acid that has smaller molecules, they'll penetrate better. And that's exactly what we use. Low molecular weight means smaller. It penetrates more deeply, more thoroughly. And that's what we want to use. Now, as far as using the DMSO with the hyaluronic acid, because we're using DMSO, we follow the same protocol we always use. We make sure the skin is clean. We don't want any other substances other than the goodness we're trying to take in. So if I just get home from the gym, I'm all sweaty, I don't want to just put it on my shoulder directly. I'm going to quickly wipe my shoulder off, make sure I don't have any of the sweat and the toxins that have been excreted during exercise. Same thing if I've been working in the garden or working on the truck motor. I want to make sure that my hands are clean, dry, skin is not broken. Then I can apply all the goodness because I know that whatever I combined with the DMSO, it's going in. Now, for best benefit, you got to get into a nice, simple routine. My routine involves applying hyaluronic acid and DMSO at a minimum morning and night, usually 3 times a day. So from a simple routine standpoint, just start with good, clean skin, apply a small amount of whatever product you're using, preferably our product, with the hyaluronic acid and the DMSO. Apply a thin coat of the cream, and then you're done. Don't treat it like a massage lotion because the hyaluronic acid actually gets a little gummy pretty quickly. Then make sure that you apply consistently. You can use hyaluronic acid and DMSO multiple times each day. You'll know you're overdoing it if you get a little irritation. Then you're kind of flirting with overdoing it. And that's from the DMSO because the DMSO grabs onto water molecules and moves them around a little bit in your skin. It can cause a little bit of like a redness or a dryness, even an itchy kind of feeling. That's DMSO doing its thing. If you've hit that level, back off just a bit. You're not doing any harm, but you're kind of irritating things. As far as overdoing on hyaluronic acid, I can't find any evidence that you can overdo it. You might be inefficient. So just use a reasonable amount, get a nice coating over the skin area. And if you're like me, where I've had multiple body parts worked on, I apply it to both shoulders, knees, ankles, bottoms of my feet. Just try to make sure I get the hyaluronic acid where I need it so it can do its job. And it'll help with the joints, help with the skin, and help me to move more. And really, that's what we're after. Want to hurt less, live more, and that means moving more. And this is a little bit counterintuitive. At times, we avoid moving thinking we're going to hurt more. Well, the evidence actually works in reverse. For joint issues, typically, movement is better than being sedentary. I remember after back surgery, the instruction from the doctor was walk. Starting the day of surgery, walk. You need movement. Same thing I've had with my knees. Things have changed. Movement is where it's at. Maintaining muscle mass is where it's at. Hyaluronic acid, especially paired with DMSO, will help you to do that. It'll help tamp down the pain, get your joints feeling a little better, get rid of some of that snap, crackle, and pop. Well, I hope this has been helpful for you. If it has, I hope you'll like this video and subscribe and share, and then come on back for more. We've got all sorts of things that we'll be sharing through this Herbal Mana channel as we help you to hurt less and live more. I'll see you next time.